So here we are, second round of the season 3 at the Nürburgring. We're at the Hockenheim last time out, so there we go. It is John Jones from Bolton to Anima, it's Oliver White, Jez Montague, Dever, and then Saffron Jones and PM Monk completing out the top 6. An interesting ending to the top 10 with Musterberger, Muller, Sharon, and Leschov. We've got Gabaywa starting 11th, the ever quick George Wright down in 17th, 2 of the season 2 champion protagonists, Helson Phillip into the 22nd and 23rd. Clapping shits on his debut is 19th, and Bagatov on his debut starting at the back. And I'll tell you now, with what we saw out of this track in season 1 and season 2, I don't think we will be seeing this order stay like this for long as we get racing. A very good start for John Jones as he pulls away from Mufaritza. Yadeva goes up the inside into third ahead of Ryan. Then comes Saffron Jones and Montcar as we head into turn 1 we go. Little bit of contact there as Mufaritza tagged the back of Jones and gets through into the lead. And then Jones goes right back down the inside and retakes the race lead. Ryan's third, Yadeva fourth, then Saffron in fifth, and then Muller in sixth. As Jones gets a little bit out of sorts, and Harsmith, we've got a big insert at the back because Saffron Jones has gone and everybody's piled up into each other. And that's going to be a lot of damage for a lot of people, and I'm not even going to try and figure out. Who is still going and who isn't. But it is Mufaritza who leads. Rice second, John Jones third, then Yadeva and Montcalm, and then everybody else is a long way back. We've got Musterberg, Alessio, Sherwood's got damage. Helson Phillips got damage, Bagatov's got damage on his debut, then Kamaywas, Sanghun's got damage, Saffron Jones has got damage, Camille's got damage, and those are those, as we're going to see Montcalm all over the back of Jez Montiedeva, and this is for 4th place. And he pulls up for the move. Montcalm goes to the position, Yadeva went a bit wide though, keeps the place. So a lot of people are going to be coming in with damage after both Joneses actually lost it. And that's another one we can add to the list as Yadeva goes wide, tags the curb, and Montcalm loses his front wing going into the back of him. So a lot of scrappy racing, but we sort of expected this from the Nürburgring. Let's see if George Wright, who started 17th, can get up to top place ahead of Matthew Scherer, who's going to pit anyway, but just interesting to see if he can clear him out on track. We're going to go quickly look at the other line in a second, who's coming under a little bit of pressure from John Jones, but let's see. No, so we're going to go back to that position fight because John Jones is on the back of Oliver Ray, and this is for 2nd place. After making that early mistake on lap 1, John Jones needs to get up as Mufaritza leads. So we're going to see who comes into the pits and when, because I get the feeling we're going to see a lot coming in now. So Helson Phillip is in, Bagatov is in, Gabaywas is in, as is Sanghun, Camille, Jones, Powell. Those 7 have come into the pits. And it looks like Matthew Scherer is out of the race. So, yeah, I don't know what happened with Scherer, but he is out of the race. 16 drivers survived the first lap. And it is Mufaritza who leads from Oliver Ryan, and then John Jones who races in 3rd. Yadeva is 4th, Musterberg rounding out the top 5. Lesho Rodriguez is up to 7th from 14, coming in a good race. Then Moritze Miller and George Adio, who started this race down in 16th, is up to 10th at the moment. They've got a 5-second gap back to Stelfhouse, then Montcar, who's fighting with Serlio, and Mariam, and then Craft and Shits and Ryan. Here goes Jones for 2nd place, up the inside of Ryan, but he gets it in too deep and can't keep the place, and he has now compromised his whole run through this section of track, and he's now got to go again, but he is going to get a slipstream off of Oliver White here, which is going to help him. Meanwhile, Mufaritza leading this race by about 3.5 seconds. Just under, but he is roughly there or thereabouts. So we head through the chicane and then out onto the main straight. Back in 4th place there, you can see Yadeva. 5th place is Musterberger. And there you can see Wolfgang Müller having a little bit of a fight now with Simona. I would say this is for 8th place. Müller, who's actually dropped back from the start, started 8th, now running 9th. Trying to get back up to 8th place and ahead of Simona Moritze, who proved in season 2 that she can be a very quick driver, but she hit the curb there, and that's going to be an easy 8th place gained for Wolfgang Müller. Now let's head back up to 3rd place, where John Jones is now coming under a little bit of pressure from Jez Montiedeva. Oh, and that's why. And he's hit the wall, and that's him done. Front wing's gone, and Oliver Wright is going to have to pit as Montcalm has come into the pit lane from further down the field. as has Kravenschitz, and as has, by the looks of it, George Rye, but that is Oliver Rye with no front wing after hitting the wall down at turn 3, and he is going to have to come into the pit lane. So, there we go. So we're going to see this fight for 7th place now, where Miller is on to the back of Vitaly Leshilov, who, yeah. So, highest of those who have pitted, by the way, is Marcus Helveston-Phillip, who's running in 14th. So there's still an opportunity if you crash 4 points. As you can see, Miller got a slightly slow run, and here comes Maritze trying to take P8 back off Wolfgang Miller after she lost it, after completely having an awful mare down at the final corner. Then behind them in 10th place is George Adio, who I think has only ever finished in the points once or twice in his entire career, as Maritze slides to the rear end, and here comes Adio. Meanwhile, there's Miller trying to get ahead of Leshiov there, side by side as they head up to the chicane. Looks like Miller's got the place, but Leshiov's going to be back on the inside as they come into the chicane. Leshiov's going to fight that. And Miller, as they get close, Miller onto the grass. We've got Maritze onto the grass as well, but Miller gets 7th place from Leshiov, then Adio and Maritze. That's why he's going to come into the pits this lap, as we're going to see Musselberger now catching up to the back of Shedeva. This is for 3rd place. But not really happening at the moment. We're going to go back down the field. We've got yellow flags because that's a slow moving Alex Rodriguez, who was running in 6th place. He's now running in 10th, and this is what happened to the Spaniard coming out of turn 1. So he got out of turn 1 fight, which is why I thought he initially lost it. He just clips the curb and half spun it, and then had no momentum to get going again. Now, here comes Roberto Solario into this, because he's running now 11th. And we've got a slow-moving car. That's Leshiov, who's at a moment. I don't know what happened to Vitaly Leshiov, but we can have a look. So he was running, yeah, P7. He was fighting with George Adio. And then coming out of the corner. Whoa! Oh! And then all that smoke we saw was his front tyres getting cooked to shreds. And he might actually drop out the top 10 here. Solario has a look, can't get the place. Now, interesting to see where Oliver Blythe ends up in all of this, because he's only in 5th place, and he's got Wolfgang Miller catching up to him, and obviously he's going to come in the pits anyway. As we can see, Leshiov now onto the back of Rodriguez. And one thing you've got to be careful of is when you're locking up, or your tyres get spun or overheated, as you can see Bryce coming to the pit for the 2nd time. When the tyres get heated, you've then got no grip, because the tyres are just not there. They're not at the optimal temperature, so then you're more likely to lose it again. And I think that's what we're seeing today. And you can see now Miller has cleared off Rye already. But yeah, that's what we're going to see, I think, because we saw this last year where they would just make mistakes constantly, and it's those curves where they hit it as Rodriguez makes a mistake. We're going to go 3 wide up the hill, really. Oh, I thought for a second we were. Right, let's see. Can Leshiov get up to P9? Now, he is going to be on the outside of Rodriguez. Behind him is Solario in the background there. You can see Helu Mariam, who's running in 12th place. Now, but Leshiov hasn't got the place. He then comes off and onto the grass. And then he makes contact with Solario. No damage, though. That's why he comes into the pits. Interesting to see where he ends up. But there's a nice little fight ending up here at the end of the top 10. From 8th to 11th of Maritze, Solario, Leshiov, and Mariam. Now, I'm interested to see where Rye is going to come out, because Helmsley is coming out on the final corner. So Rye is coming out now. I'm interested to see. I'm just interested to see, will he be the leading car who pitted? He is not going to be. Helmsley is ahead of Rye, but Rye does slot out into 14th place, so he's not in an awful position at all. And that's Rodriguez off again. Alex Rodriguez, who was running in P8 at the head of that train we mentioned, and yep, there's that what we expected. Now I'm interested to see, did anyone take damage? No. So that's crucial. But yellow flags as well, because that's Solario who's onto the grass. So after Rodriguez spun, and then Solario clips the curb, goes off onto the grass, avoids Aleshiov somehow, and then pulls onto the grass so he doesn't make contact with Marianne, although Marianne's now onto the grass herself, and she's been overtaken by Emerson Stouthouse, who in all of this is running in 9th place. So, there we go. But let's see if Marianne can get back ahead of Stouthouse. This is for 9th place, just ahead of them in 8th place is Vitaly Lesio, and then down the road is Solario Rodriguez. They're fighting for 11th place, and they're the last 2 drivers who haven't pitted. Everyone else has pitted or DNF, the only DNF, Matthew Scherer, which is a disappointment because he started his race in 9th place. Jones, I think, had a moment because he's lost a bit of time. We'll have a look, see what happened to Jones. It was down at the chicane. Oh, yeah, and just coming out the chicane, he just lost the rear end. So, keep an eye on that update, as we can see Stouthouse just behind Leshiov, and behind him is Marianne. So, this is going to be a 3-way fight for 8th place. With 9 minutes to go, we're at halfway. And it is Tawanda Muparitsa looking on course for an easy win here. However, never say never, because it is never easy when you're in WMT, even when you're leading, because these cars are a nightmare to drive. So, got Adio fighting with Moitze for 6th place. What could be an interesting fight. Let's see, it's turn 1. Does anyone make a move in this 8th place train? Doesn't look like it. As Moitze has spun. Now, the good news for her is she was about 10 seconds ahead of that Leshiov Stouthouse train, but she spins again. So she might get caught up with them now. Yeah, she's not getting it going. And now she's lost her rear wing. And she has come out right in front of them. Stouthouse has got off the track and cut the corner, but Moitze's got no rear wing. And she did make that a bit unsafe for those behind, and that's not going to be good news for Marianne and Leshiov, because they're going to lose a lot of time here. However, it looks like Marianne's going to have no issue getting past Moitze, and I get the feeling we're going to see Vitaly Leshiov probably do something very similar in about a corner or 2 time, although he is losing a lot of time, you can just see, because Moitze hasn't got that downforce, but you can see Leshiov easily pulls up into 9th place. That'll push Moitze out of the top 10, that'll give 11th place to Solario. Rodriguez, who hasn't even pitted, is under pressure from Helmut Develop, who has, so there we go. So we're going to see Marianne and Leshiov finding it out. We've got an incident. No, Jones is under pressure, trying to hold on to P2. Musselberger's going to try and go right round the outside, and Musselberger moves up to 2nd place at his home race, although technically his 2nd home race of the year. Jones is 3rd, Dever's 4th, then Muppets are just 10 seconds ahead of all of them. So there we go. Although I think Jones is going to come back up the inside into turn 1, is he? As I think Musselberger made a slight mistake there. You can see him slightly sliding the rear end. 7 minutes to go. But looks like Jones is going to be held behind. He's trying to go around the outside on Musselberger. That would be brave. As they're side by side. Jones unable to get the job done, though. Well, that was great fighting from them. And now Dever's going to be in this fight. So we'll see what he can do. We've got yellow flags. And I'm not sure why. Somebody has had a moment, but it's not... It must have been Bagatov. He's got no front wing, so he was at the back anyway. But let's see if Devon can get ahead of John Jones and up into 3rd place. Doesn't look like it there. Muller is 5th, Adio 6th, then Stouthouse, Marianne, Leshiov, and then Solario, and then Moitze, who's runs to the 11th, and then Hamilton, Felix, Ramirez, Rodriguez. Oliver Byers dropped back to 17th, which is a shame. I don't know if he made a mistake somewhere, probably. The bad news for them, though, well, the bad news for Musselberger is he might have a gap on Jones right now, but he's about to get dragged into the back of the lapped car with Nagatov, sorry, no, Solson Bagatov. Now, what you're seeing here is that's going to allow Jones a beautiful opportunity if he can take advantage, and let's see how I'm going to stack up these 3 once again, although it might actually come to the AD for Dever here, because he's going to go up the inside on Jones, who hasn't really got anywhere to go. So let's see, and Dever actually trying to take Musselberger as well, but then there's a little bit of contact there, as now Bagatov pulls off into the pits. So they all made a little bit of scrapping, as Bagatov comes into the pits for the 2nd time this race, and he's going to finish a distant last at this point. He was already last, and he had only pitted once, so there we go. Top 3 then. Well, 2nd place is Musselberger, 3rd place is Dever, who took advantage of that situation to get ahead of Jones. John Jones running in 4th, and then Muller, Adio, Stouthouse, and Marianne, who runs in 8th, and then Leshiov and Solario running up the points in 10th place, and that's a mistake from Dever, and here comes John Jones up to 3rd, surely. Although I think he had to slightly back off there. Still side by side. Round the outside goes Jones. He's going to get pushed wide, and he, smartly backs out of that idea and stays in 4th place. Although this is good news for Musselberger, because he's 2nd, and the next lap car ahead of him up the road is, I think, Alex Rodriguez, I want to say that is. It's not Alex Rodriguez. Somebody further down the field. Oh, it might be George A. Wright, you know. Yeah. So the next car ahead of him is Wright. And he isn't a long way back from Wright, as Sankman and Moritzi have come into the pits. There's still definitely points on the table for Helvers and Phillip here with running in 11th. He's not far back from Solario. Jones has not had a good race at all. Was that a car off the track or no? I was losing. Snellhouse closing up to Marianne. This is the 7th place. 4 minutes to go. We're going to go back to the fight for 3rd place, where Jones has caught up to Devo again, as he then loses the rear end, so never mind, we'll go back to the fight for 7th place. 3 minutes 43 to go. In fact, we're going to go to the fight for a 10th place, where Helvers and Phillip is catching up to Alberto Solario and trying to get himself back up into the points. He started this race, Helvers and Phillip, 22nd. He got caught up in some early drama, had to pit early in this race. But he is currently running in 11th place, and he has got Solario and Leschiev just ahead of him. And this is for, now effectively, 9th place. So let's see. I think John Jones has had a moment, because he has dropped to 5th place now. Yep, there we go, he spins. So Jones drops back again. That's Adio off, but again, no one really near him to make him punished for that. And he stays P6. And unless Tawanda Muffaritza bowls it, he's going to end up easily winning. There you can see Gavailas as Helvers and Phillips had a poor run. And the 2 Jordans might do battle here into turn 1. Helvers and Phillips nearly goes into the back of Solario there, as Gavailas now gets ahead of him. And up into 11th place. Around the outside, is he going to keep that? He is. Which is going to be interesting. 2 minutes 35 to go. Oh, and that's a spin for Gavailas, and he hits Helvers and Phillip, but thankfully no damage for either driver. Right, let's look at the fight for 9th place. Solario trying to get ahead of Leschiev. Can he do it? Not there. 2 points may not sound like a lot, but last year's championship did go down to a handful of points, so everything matters for Alberto Solario, who has his eyes set on that title. He's been right in there in Season 1 and Season 2, but just not quite had it at the end as he goes up the inside and gets an easy position gain there on Vitaly Leschiev as he moves himself up into 9th place. Past the Russian. Next driver up the road for him is Emerson Staufhaus, who's 14 seconds up the road, so probably no more positions gaining for Solario here, but I think at this point he's going to look to settle down, manage the tyres and finish P9. Leschiev, however, doesn't really have a lot to lose. He's probably not in the title fight this year, although never say never, because I don't think many people really had Helvers and Phillip in the title fight last year, and obviously he went on to nearly win the title, probably should have won the title, as Devil and Musselberger now fighting out for 2nd, so I don't know what happened to Musselberger. Here's what happened to Musselberger. Into turn 1, and he has locked that up and gone wide, so he's now dropped back to 3rd behind Yadeva. Musselberger, 1 minute and 30 left to go, has got to push here as Yadeva spins, and Musselberger hits him but no damage. Oh, and Yadeva makes contact with Muller, and they both got damage. And now Jones hits Yadeva, and he's lost his front wing. So, Yadeva, Jones, and Muller are 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but they've all got damage, which means George Adio is going to finish on the podium right now. Well, a minute to go. Muffaritza, I think, is going to mean there's one more lap after this. But that's damage, and that's going to really spice up the order now. So you can see Leschiev coming under pressure from Helvers and Phillip and Gamaywes. Muffaritza, meanwhile, 21.5 seconds clear out in front. As you can see, Helvers and Phillip was all over the place there, and here comes Felix Gamaywes coming up the inside for 11th place. Won't get the job done there. 30 seconds on the clock as Muffaritza crosses the line, so we are going to get one more lap after this. absolute carnage. Here's Haley Mariam, and also behind her is Emerson Staufhaus. And I think with all this drama, we're going to see guys like Celia Camille and Pierre Montcalm in the points. Caleb Powell might end up in the points. It is really getting going. But that's bad news for Jones, the Endeavour, and Muller, who are all in for very solid afternoons. But a mistake from the Endeavour, he then hit Muller. Jones had nowhere to go. Muppets has got no front wing. Oh, that changes everything. Tawanda Muppetsa has got no front wing. He was leading this race by 21.5 seconds. And he's now got no front wing. Oh, because Oliver Vai had spun and Muppetsa didn't see him. I think Muppetsa's going to stay out and just get the win though, but he is going to lose a lot of time. And I can already see the gap to Musselberger is coming down quickly. So Miller's in the pits. That pushes Adio up into the podium. There's Bagatov fighting with Mamian, but obviously he's a lap down, as you can see there. Those three come in. There's Celia Camille fighting it out of Hellas to fill it. I think Muppalutza is going to be fine to take the race win. But it was drama at the end. So Gabai has pitted. He's going to still score points. I mean, it is all kicking off here. John Jones has rejoined the track down in 15th. Muller's 11th. Endeavour's 13th. So got Staufhaus being held up by a lap car of Bagatov, because why not at this point? As there you can see Muppalutza really struggling. I think if there was one more lap he would have lost the race, but I think he's going to be fine. Unless something happens here. So he gets a little bit out of shape, and Maritza is going to fight him into the final corner. Maritza just hasn't got the grip, and he is now coming out of the final corner. And despite losing out on the final lap, he was so far ahead of everyone that it didn't matter to Adam. Maritza's going to win without a front wing. Sebastian Musselberger, who's having a resurgence and a half, is going to come through the final corner. And he is going to finish in second. Both Ryans have finished a lap down. George Adio, a man who started this race 60th and has only ever finished in the points once or twice. Didn't even score a point in the entire season one. But in a race where only a handful of cars actually managed to avoid any contact at all, Adio is going to come across the line, and George Adio is going to get his first podium in WMT. It's going to be Haley Mariam, who's going to end up in 4th place. Emerson Staufhaus is going to cross the line in 5th. Roberto Solario, who started this race 23rd. I know there's been a lot of incidents, but you've got to finish it. He crosses the line in 6th. Felix Gabayes is coming out of the final corner. He will finish 7th. Marcus Helverson Phillip will end up 8th. Celia Camille in 9th. Wolfgang Müller, despite crashing late on, ends up getting the last point in 10th. Leshiov 11th, despite not pitting. Endeavour 12th. 13th place for Montcalm. Power holds off Jones. John, that is, for 15th. Bagatov finishes a lap down 23rd. Saffron and Jones is coming out of the final corner to end up in 16th. Debut race for Krafenschitz. We wait for him to come through now. He will end up in 17th on his debut. Looks like he's got some damage to the nose cone of the car as well. So there we go. Krafenschitz crossing the line, ends up 17th. Stanghun's point drought continues. He ends up 18th. Alex Rodriguez did not even pit. He just had an absolute horror show. 19th place despite not pitting. And then Simona Witze, who ended up with something late on, comes into the pits and will end up P20 with George Rye 11th. George Rye 21st, Oliver Rye 22nd, Nurse Alton back till 23rd, and Matthew Scheller 24th. But we will see you for round 3 next time out.